I was pissed at Cuddy for a good while after the prison debacle. But hey, you can't blame him for what the Hammers did to him. So I decided to go after that horn Felix talked about. Not like I had a whole lot of choice, really. The rent is due, and my landlord's even tougher than the Hammers. The map's pretty specific about where the entrance is. Too bad it's not as clear about where the horn is. Felix did some scrounging before he left, and his notes say the horn is in the tomb of some nobles. The Quintus family. Guess I'll just have to explore. Felix, always helpful, also said that the catacombs are supposed to be haunted. I think I'll go make some inquiries about where a heretic like me can get some holy water. Always go prepared.
Down in the Bone Hoard. Difficulty hard. Search through the ancient Bone Hoard and procure the legendary Horn of Quintus. What use do the dead have for their treasures anyhow? Relieve them of at least 1,000 worth of valuables. In addition to garnering the Horn of Quintus, find and seal the fabled gemstone, the Mystic Soul. Once you have what you came for, get back to the surface. Hey everyone! Welcome back to some more Let's Play Thief Gold. Before we get to the deployment screen, I want to talk about that cutscene for just a tiny bit. It's rather... what's what I'm looking for? Darn it. I like that what Garrett summarized here was based on the very things we read about in the notes we picked up from the... what was it called? Evidence locker in the penitentiary. That's pretty awesome. I like that very much. I also think we can say safely that Garrett has no problems in dealing with the undead. And in fact, as I think I mentioned earlier, he views it as something you just have to contend with if you're going to be dealing with graves and looting them. You're going to need to deal with the guardians of that loot. In this case, it's undead, and he knows how to deal with them. Probably what helped him was the last episode as well, in case he hadn't fought them before. But I see no reason why he wouldn't have. So yeah, good for Garrett. Just purchasing some Hammerite holy water, going out there and hopefully destroying any of the undead so we can get those delicious gold coins from their graves. Let's go ahead now and purchase some equipment. Alright, and we should probably go ahead and read anything that we've never read about before. So, we have 8 rope arrows to start. This arrow will stick into wooden surfaces and deploy hanging rope. The rope drops down from the center of the rope arrow, and it does not extend all the way to the ground, depending upon how high it was or where it's embedded. It can be blocked by small things that might be below it, and I think it's about like 3 stories tall, the length of rope that you have. It's difficult to explain, but I have a generally good eye for how much rope we're going to get when I use these rope arrows. These will allow you to reach higher surfaces or locations you would not otherwise be able to get to, and you can actually string them on ceilings in order to avoid like chasms below you or jump over deep water or lava later on. We'll see us doing it for that. We have 3 vials of holy water. This vial of hammer sanctified liquid is potent protection against the undead when used under water arrows. Everything else we've read about, and we've read about everything else over here for the items for sale as well. We're starting with 8 rope arrows, 3 vials of holy water, our blackjack, our sword, 50 broadhead arrows, 3 healing potions, and 12 water arrows. We didn't really get a chance to see how effective broadhead arrows are against the dead, zombies in particular, so maybe we'll get a chance to see it today. As for what we're bringing with us, we know holy water is very effective, so we probably want all the water arrows and all the holy water we can bring with us. $263 left. It's enough for 1 healing potion. And I suppose with the extra $250, we'll buy a rope arrow. I don't really see the noisemakers being that... Well... No, noisemakers are $250. So we're not going to buy one of them either. Let's go ahead and take another rope arrow, I suppose, with this last 200. We could turn in, I guess, one water arrow and take a noisemaker. So we'll do that to give us a little more variety before we head out on the mission. Alright, everyone. So before we get going, let's take a look at our map again. We are obviously at the entrance. Looks like there's some tombs to some noble houses in the Edine wing, although it says probably inaccessible. If we're going to get to it, maybe there's some way that it overlaps with the upper vaults. Looks like there's some merchants buried here. They also might be worth exploring in an Alaris extension. There may be some holy water in the upper vaults to the north. And then we have some sort of, this looks like a multi-chambered large area. The Quintus family and Murad family are more to the north side of it, with some Hammerites buried here apparently as well. This is known as the Halls of Echoing Repose. A very, very sparse map, but good enough for us to know where we at least are in relativity to everything else. Judging from the entrance, this place is probably not visited very often. It would seem to me that most people probably don't visit the dead for fear of them getting up again, or perhaps this series of crypts is located someplace not close to the city. We can also see a corpse there on the ground. It's probably best that we don't disturb the rest of the dead, at least those who aren't moving. At the very least, not that corpse. We can hear something moaning below us. That must be the actual entrance. Remember that we're not the first people to be here. Felix came here recently, and he was supposedly following someone else who had been down here who had discovered the horn was here. That also means that someone might have seen the horn and gotten out again, or perhaps got enough information to verify that it's here.
It's a long way down.
It looks like there's a series of ledges we can use to get down there. And it looks like someone else had tried and did not land appropriately based on the broken sword and bones we see there. Perhaps this is actually that gentleman. Actually, it can't be. He has a head. Let's go ahead and see how effective our arrows will be against him. As you can see, even though we hit him from the darkness with him being completely unaware of us, normal arrows are not enough. Or they are enough to down the zombie. It should remain there now unless we get too close to it, at which point it will get back up again. I don't like where it's located, so even though we fired some arrows, we'll look to get around a different way. Something I will often do is before I fire a rope arrow, I'll fire a broadhead first to see if my angle is good enough to to put a rope arrow where I was aiming. It's also a good way to verify that you're aiming at something a rope arrow will stick into. You really don't want to waste a $200 rope arrow by shattering it on something that was made of stone. I've had enough. If Felix wants to stay and be killed, that's his business, but the pay's not good enough to keep me down here a minute more. We already lost Dranko to those damn belching burricks, and Marcus didn't make the jump across that huge chasm. He'd probably drowned if he wasn't dashed to bits. I thought about looking for his body, as he was carrying some loot from a poorly guarded tomb. It wasn't worth the risk. Then we watched Cather get filled with arrows from a clever trap in one of those great octagonal vaults. Not that I cared one whit for Cather, the bastard, but I have no intention of ending up the same way. I don't expect I'll see Felix again. He seemed sure that the Horn of Quintus was somewhere north of the vaults, but I think it was just a guess. If the traps and zombies don't get him, the burricks will. Those tunnels were a nightmare. At least our marks are mostly still intact. I'm almost out. I need a place to sleep. I think the place I found is out of the way enough that the zombies won't find me. It's possible that he wasn't killed by zombies, as it looks like he still has his flesh on him. But perhaps this place doesn't let you sleep in it without taking some toll on you, and zombies aren't the only evil creatures to wander these locations. Our zombie friend. He's guarding the rope, so we can't take that to get out of here, but we can probably climb the ropes that we just fired to do so. Since he's on the ground, we can probably at least search this area without him disturbing us. Looks like there's nothing here. Alorus. Looks like the Alorus extension is off limits to us. Unless we can somehow make it up to that crack in the wall. Oh, which we can maybe do. Everyone, I've never made it up here ever before. I'm going to put a quick save here, because if this is a mistake and we can't get out, I want to know. And there is no way here. The game didn't expect me to be able to do that. This does mean getting back down will be a little tricky. Huh. So there is no way over there. But there is a healing potion. We have 5 healing potions with me. When I bought one, it did occur to me to take a peek at how many of them I already have. Notice what I was talking about with the rope arrows. They do not descend all the way to the ground. But we do have enough space to jump on it if we must from down here, thanks to these tombs. Quite a few water arrows. And a very well hidden magical chest. Garrett is very wiry, so it doesn't surprise me he can reach in there and manage to get the chest opened. We must be in the North Vaults. We're at the Holy Water font that Felix thought was here. It's not making the same sounds as the Hammerite one we saw earlier, but it is glowing. Actually, it is still making the same sound. A bit more faintly, but it sounds like it's still enchanted. Probably a good opportunity for me to talk about traps. There are 2 types of traps in this game. Ones which are activated by you stepping on something you shouldn't have, and others activated by you being somewhere you shouldn't be. There are pressure plates, and there are wards. We will see examples of both of these within this crypt. And by that I mean this mission. The first one is located here. Most traps will have something that looks suspicious, such as these arrow slits in the wall here. When you see something like this, look around, try to see if there's anything that looks suspicious that might activate them. In this case, the floor tiles here. Garrett wasn't given much traps training, so he probably has no clue how to disarm a trap, but he's probably smart enough to know not to step on them. I don't see any treasure down that hallway, which means I don't want to get close to that corpse. The traps prove that this is a place people don't come to. This is where the dead stay, a place for them and them alone, not for the living to be. No one comes here to visit their entombed relatives or friends. They leave them alone. There is a corpse there. And the chest in the hole in the wall. I don't know if we can reach that chest without that waking up. And that goblet has another corpse guarding it as well. I think the holy water font is close enough that we can go and bless our water arrows, run back here, and destroy those zombies without needing to use one of the vials we brought with us. In case I didn't mention it, the undead here, they don't sense your life. They see you and detect you through the same means others do in this world. They have to see you or hear you. Zombies that are on the ground tend to take only one water arrow to destroy them. Good to know. There's nowhere else to go. Time for us to go swimming. There's a tale told here. Whoever this was tried to open one of these chests. It looks like their body was flung away from one of these arrow slits. It'll be a powerful arrow that hits them. Let's not stand in front of that and make sure there's nothing else that will hit us if we open the chests from the side. A speed potion. 6 fire arrows. We haven't seen fire arrows yet. We'll talk about them a bit when I draw the first one back. We read in that note from the dead gentleman we saw some time earlier that there are things called burricks in these caves. This looks probably like one of their workings. Burricks are these bipedal lizards. Imagine velociraptors, but without any sharp teeth or claws. They have this toxic gas that they spew forth, and I think that gas is what allows them to do this. They are very territorial and will not want us in their homes. They themselves are immune to their gas, and we will take damage from it. Their gas has an interesting way of spreading as well, which we'll see if we're unfortunate enough to have some projected in our direction. And that would be a burrick. Burricks tend to have more life than a human does, being larger, with more constitution. They're smart. There's some level of intelligence to them. As they will call for help, they post guards, and they patrol their territory. They will call for help if they think they need it, and they will run away if they're in danger of dying. I didn't see anything down there but a dead end. We'll hope that's the case. There's some water down this pit, but there might not be a way back up. Let's make our descent a little safer. We could, and probably should, have fired some rope arrows back and forth, but there's no guarantee we'll be able to get back up into this hole. And I don't know if I'll have the angle to get these to reach down towards whatever ledge that is. So we will just fall and hope there's a way out. I suppose we can mantle this and shoot a rope arrow into the wall if we need to go out that way. Looks like there's a dart hole there, and directly in front of that ledge is another pressure plate. Who was this gentleman? I've decided to take the plunge. If my records are correct, there should be a stash of fire crystals in the lowest obulette. which was sealed for centuries but has been since opened up by the Burricks. I'll need the crystals for the torches if I'm going to get the mystic soul. We are here for that. Ha. I want that. Okay. So, how many torches are there here? Torches. Crystals. 6. So we'll probably need all 6 to get the mystic soul. Garrett strikes me as a type who isn't afraid of very much. He's not very claustrophobic, as he's willing to enter tightly confined spaces. He doesn't mind danger, as he's willing to try to save Cuddy from a hammer penitentiary. He's not afraid of the undead. And I don't think he's afraid of heights either, as he doesn't seem to have any issues with rope arrows or jumping from rope to rope. I suppose that's good. It means he's able to loot more places than perhaps some others in his profession. I think the sounds we're hearing are from behind us, not up ahead. Looks like someone got chased here and died. His flesh melted off of him, probably from the Burricks. Probably something he was carrying. A chunk of silver. Poor guy. Interesting. The Burricks seem to know when they're going to die, and they have their own effective graveyard. We probably shouldn't expect the Burricks to be keeping anything of worth. They don't seem to care about that. There's a single Burrick there. I can tell it's facing this way based on that foot of it. Burks occasionally post stationary guards. This is one of those. And it was stopping someone else from coming down here. I believe this gentleman, on expert mode, has a note about the mystic's heart, another gemstone that you will need to acquire, along with how hopeless he feels since he is trapped here by the Burks down below. Don't feel too bad for killing the Burks. They're not the good guys. At the very least, they're a wild creature, and as sad as it is that they make horrible sounds when they die or discover they're dead, they're still in the end will kill you if they find you. We came from that hole in the ceiling. There's a hole across this large cavern there. I can see the grass, the green there. Well, I think we go for it. You can knock out Burks with with whatever means you have to knock them out with. Blackjack, or later on, special arrows or mines. Nice, weren't even seen. Their marks are mostly still intact. And someone fell when attempting to leap over a great chasm. Perhaps this is the way for us? Ooh. You didn't commit to it.
What?
probably the guy who fell. But I don't see any loot that he was carrying on him. Unless it fell into this lagoon. It would be too hard to find it if it's down here. Nothing's catching my eye. If it's whatever's here, it must have been very much. Or it is a lot, and we're just not going to look for it. Felix doesn't care, but we've definitely found signs that Adolfo has been here before us. I don't know if he found the fabulous gemstone he always said was here, but if it's still here, it's worth more than that lousy hoard of quintuplets or whatever the thing is called. If I'm reading the signs right, Adolfo was convinced something useful was deep down below the Berwick tunnels. The fire crystals that we found, he was in the wrong area when he jumped down here. Okay, this won't be so bad. We can knock out this Berwick and race past it to the left. Although it sounds like there's probably two of them here. The gas from a Berwick, as you can see, flies in a horizontal line until it impacts something and then disperses. I don't think it will be able to chase us up here. Odd. A gold bone floating in this reservoir. Let's take it. It's not worth any money. Maybe there's something else we can do with it. Alright, everyone. It sounds like we've entered the halls of echoing repose. Yup. We can hear there's activity up ahead, so let's go ahead and try to deal with as many zombies as we can. I would like there to be sounds of multiple of them here. And we're hearing none at this moment. That's interesting. The zombies aren't moving. None of them are moving. The horn must be keeping them sedated. I was expecting the horn's effect to apply to maybe Burricks, based on Felix's note, but not the actual Walking Dead. And this looks like a trap to me. I could see the arrow or spear hole on the other side of this. If we do get chased and pinned, it's good to know that there's a spot we can jump down and be safe by hitting the water down below. That one's facing this way. If it's going to activate, this is a good time as any to get to see if that happens. No. I've never seen this behavior, everyone. There we go. As long as we're shooting them, we try to find more of them. We don't have that much holy water. Only 2 killed. The others are... Everyone is now looking for me. Well, that worked out rather well. All of them bunched up together. And we still have three vials of holy water left with 19 water arrows. All right, let's explore from the area we actually entered this place from now. Nothing in this chamber where we first entered it from. Another golden bone. That looks like two... No, one hand, one foot, I think. Someone wanted to be buried with their wine. Must be quite a vintage.
Tombs with piped-in music. How classy.
That likely leads back to the Berwick tunnels, judging from the mushroom I see on the ceiling.
Felix, you don't look so good.
I'm so close. I hear the sound of the horn echoing all around. That coward Sutter. He left me an hour ago after Catherine blundered into a trap, but you can bet I'll be finding a prize on my own. It seems I'm not the first grave robber to muck about in these halls. The infamous Adolfo was down here, probably after one of the richer but more heavily warded treasures. It looks like he failed, the poor bugger. This part of the tombs is filled with traps, and there's no way I'm plundering some of these crypts, but the horn's going to be mine. I know it. If the rumors are true, the sound of the horn should be keeping any local burricks happy and peaceful like, with no thoughts of bothering old Felix. My only trouble now be my dwindling supply of holy water. I thought there would be a font in this area, but I'm blasted if I can find it. And the dead seem to be getting restless about something. Looks like he tried to set up a camp here. It looks like there's no loot he was carrying. Those purple sparks are magic missiles. We will probably be up there later. I don't trust it. But I don't want to use a water arrow if there's just one corpse. Three corpses. Let's make sure these are the only three. I don't think Felix was here long enough to turn into a zombie yet. Four bodies. Though I don't know if I'll be able to be fast enough to kill all four with one use of holy water. Well, let's try. At the very least, I want to kill the three that are over here. We could use the speed potion to do it, but I might need the speed potion in case we are being chased by something, so I won't use it for this purpose. Case in point, a very angry flaming wraith. We seem to have given it the slip at the moment, but there's something very angry down here. We still have other places to search down here, but I'm a little nervous. That likely made a lot of noise. We are skipping a bunch of stuff at the moment. I don't know where we are, but I think we keep going for a little longer. Sounds like the thing that chased us. Thankfully, it's rather loud. It's coming. I think. Torches. We will need fire arrows for the mystic soul. That's a lot of open arrow slits. I can see the pressure plates in front of the stairs here. It will be difficult to climb it, but I think we can do so as long as we don't step on these plates and stay off the steps as well. Was that safe to be on? I think so. Actually, we can step on this now. We've seen the arrows and bolts fly from the arrow slits here and the stairs, but not from that side. And there's slits even at angles around this. And this, however, is the mystic soul. I think it would be prudent for us to make this trap think that the mystic soul is still there. The zombies sound like they're all on that side, so our exit from this chamber is dead ahead of us. And everyone, I think this is a good spot to stop. Actually, let's find some darkness we can hide in. Not really what I wanted. This will be acceptable. Not dark, but we're high up. Ooh. We'll be okay. Alright, everyone. let's stop here. Okay. We call the session. I can talk really quickly about some of the things we've seen as well, really fast. And first off, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to talk a little bit about this mission because I have seen some things now that I have never seen before while playing this. I have never, ever seen the zombies standing still listening to the music. Not once has that ever happened while I've been playing, whenever I've played this mission. And I have been here quite often, at least 30 or 40 times. I have never seen that fire wraith come down from where it's normally located to investigate the noise it heard. Normally that is investigating the tiled area we were just at where those torches have to be lit. I didn't even register it in my vision as it was charging us as I was beginning to shoot the corpse on the ground. It never occurred to me it would be down here. We'll talk more about that wraith at the beginning of the next episode. But, man, that was terrifying. If it can run faster than us, I think if it, and it damages things in an area, we would have been slaughtered by it had we not found that speed potion earlier. We're very lucky to have made it out there alive. I've also never downed a zombie with broadhead arrows before. I thought it might be possible. And I do know that if you down zombies through things like flash bombs, that they will get up again. But if they're on the ground, one holy water arrow will also kill them. So that was interesting to know that broadhead arrows can indeed down them. I was going to put one more in it and show that they do nothing. I was quite surprised when we dropped it. I didn't realize that the rope arrow we fired in this section of the tombs would actually dangle down to the ground from where I fired it up at that one wooden ledge. That's pretty amazing. That will let us access that area a bit easier than the way I would normally have to do it. So, quite a bit of new things are being learned for the first time for me through this Thief series. I'm really happy I'm playing through this again. In any case, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.